Hello, I'm here today to discuss a recent environmental disaster in the context of the triple bottom line, as well as the strategic planning processes utilized to achieve desired end states. The three components of the triple bottom line are people, planet, and profit. So people can be employees, people in the community, etc. The planet, self-explanatory, planet, environment, profit. That's the aim of typically most companies and organizations produce profit as well, while fulfilling the triple bottom. Simply put, the triple bottom line concept aims for an organization to create positive change in the planet, the people, and generate profit. The organization responsible for the environmental disaster we're here today to discuss is the Environmental Protection Agency, which should by definition, by its core competencies, have a tremendous responsibility for people and the planet. The EPA does not have a profit incentive like a traditional corporation does. However, they certainly have a responsibility to be a good custodian of taxpayer dollars. Like any large organization attempting to achieve complex goals, deliberate strategic planning is needed in order to achieve their desired end state. The incident in question took place August 5th, 2015. A contractor performing work for EPA on the Gold King mine in Colorado accidentally released a minimum of 3 million gallons of toxic wastewater. The water was contaminated with lead, arsenic, and other heavy metals associated with mining, and was released into the Animas River, sources NPR. The contractor attempted to install a drain pipe in a dam which was holding contaminated mine water when accidentally breached the dam, releasing millions of gallons of water into the river, according to NPR. The moment the contaminated water hit the Animas River, the EPA had failed to protect the bottom lines of the people and the planet. Ultimately, the profit, because by doing so they created a bigger problem than they were originally attempting to clean up. So they're affecting their stewardship of taxpayer dollars by creating a disaster while trying to clean up a previous issue. The problem with the contaminated mine water in the West is not a new issue, and mitigating the hazards associated with it have been developed over the last 100 years or so. So best practices are in place. Clearly, the EPA failed to perform adequate deliberate planning and had inadequate policies and programs. Inadequate policies and programs were created during the strategic planning process in order to support and safely execute the Gold King mine cleanup effort. In other words, they failed to establish the policies and programs during the strategic planning process for cleaning up that mine, other mines, or just developing best practices in order to ensure that they were operated safely. Worsening the whole issue, the EPA failed to release news of the breach or warn potential users of the river of the contamination of the river until 3 days after the initial breach, potentially exposing people to unnecessary toxicity and long-term harmful effects of those heavy metals in the water. Strategic planning is a fairly straightforward process. Clearly, the EPA's overarching mission of protect human health and the environment, according to the EPA mission statement on their website, should be incorporated into every activity. A microcosm of strategic planning should have taken place for this project, more of a deliberate process incorporating some elements of strategic planning, although if a part of the task organized structure is dedicated mine cleanup, so they have a separate mine cleanup division or section, full-blown strategic planning would have been appropriate. Objectives were set for work, which was install a drain in order to eventually clean up the mine. A strategy may have been crafted, but due to the results, the strategy was clearly either A, flawed, or the execution was poor. Unfortunately, the performance may not have been properly evaluated either, nor were corrective adjustments effectively implemented. The fundamental flaws in the planning process as executed have not been released through any after-action report to this date by the EPA. So we don't know exactly what went wrong, where it happened, or who's responsible. However, a few facts are clear. The EPA was aware that a large amount of contaminated water existed in the mine, with the potential to contaminate the Animas River, which delivers drinking water and irrigation water through its entire length. The EPA was aware, due to a memorandum from the contractor performing work dated from June of 2014 to over a year before the breach, that risk existed for the mine water to blow out. CNN described the incident. in the documentation. Despite a proper risk assessment, so they are aware of the risks involved, the EPA failed to properly mitigate the risks identified with the work to be done and had no contingency plan in place for any possible breaches, like a diverting canal or a secondary levee. The strategic planning process clearly failed in this case, and if this disaster indicates the level of deliberate planning the EPA performs across the organization, the ability of the EPA to meet the triple bottom line is in serious doubt. Corporate social responsibility in the triple bottom line model must be part of the planning process for any major company activity. The EPA is failing in its mission to safeguard the environment and people whenever events of this nature occur. And the agency releases millions of gallons of contaminated water into a river, putting the environment and people of 3 states at risk. The argument cannot possibly be made that the EPA itself is functioning to protect the environment effectively. The EPA should conduct deliberate strategic planning and change its mission, vision, and values to reflect the triple bottom line concept in order to help the entire agency organize the way ahead in the desired end state. Leadership should make sure that all 3 bottom lines, safety and ethical considerations, are part of the strategic planning process for the agency, as well as a deliberate planning process used for major field work in order to improve processes and achieve the desired end state.